There's a lot of really good games out right now. There's a lot of videos I still have to catch up on over here. There's a lot of good stuff worth playing. But I just wanted to give a way out, a bit of a mention, because it's really good. I think you should play it. It's weird, though, because it's probably one of the most cringeworthy games I've ever played. It's a middling game. It's very much a video game-ass video game where there's a lot of like cliched, cheesy stuff you've seen a million times, but it still managed to kind of give me back the joy of video games that every once in a while I kind of like forget about when we all sit around here talking about games on the internet. And that's, I think, because of the co-op feature. Now, that kind of seemed touted as a gimmick from the beginning. The fact that this game exists completely just as a co-op game, that's it. You have to play it either with a friend, split screen, or multiplayer. There's this whole thing that is pretty cool where only one person has to own the copy of the game and the other person can just join in and play through the whole thing with you. That's really great. I thought it wasn't going to be a big deal going in, but the entire game is designed around that experience, and I think it makes it 10 times better. It is such a good time. I spent the weekend playing through in like 1.5 sittings with my best friend Andrew, and we played through the entire thing and had a freaking blast. The game takes itself a little seriously sometimes. We never took it seriously. It's very much any type of 90s, late 80s action, drama, jailbreak, movie, all those things lumped into one, yet it's so fun and so stupid. The characters are lovable, especially Leo, just because of his voice acting and the dumb situations they put him in. It's got some good comedy. I don't know how much of it is actually intentional, but it worked for us. And I'm also not talking about spoilers just so you don't miss out on anything. I'm just showing gameplay I recorded from the earlier moments in the game. It recorded a little framey. I don't know why. The game did perform pretty well for us. It does actually look really good. But it puts you in a lot of different situations, like a car chase where one person has to drive and one person has to shoot. You guys are rowboating down a rapid river and each of you rows one side of the boat, so you have to communicate. And we were like yelling at each other as we were getting towards a waterfall because we had to paddle left. And there's just good shit like that makes you laugh and it makes you talk out loud and communicate with your friend, whether you're playing in person or online. Obviously, call me old-fashioned. I definitely recommend playing it on a couch with someone if you can, because the game does some really cool stuff with perspective shifts, where it splits the screen up in certain ways, and maybe while one person might be wandering around talking to an NPC, something more important is happening with the other character, so his screen will be a little bit bigger. And while looking at the gameplay, you might see a lot of these, and you're saying, Jake, these just look like QuickTime events, where it's just like mash the X button, mash this, and do this. It is, but some of them are designed in ways specifically almost like party games. It almost feels like Mario Party games where they're designed to kind of get you riled up and talking with your friend and freaking out and stressing out, and it's so good for that. You'll notice that this is why I like the game. I told you it's very cliched. A lot of it is predictable. A lot of it's corny. A lot of the voice acting is really bad, but it's impressive the amount of fun things it throws at you. It's consistently paced. It never really loses your attention, and even for the slower parts that do build on character stuff, which doesn't really nail it because I didn't really care too much about the characters, it still gives you time to goof off. Like, you can just mess around with stuff. You can play checkers together at one point. You can both find wheelchairs and see who can hold a wheelie on a wheelchair longer. Dumb stuff like that is just straight up friend shit works so well. And I loved it. I had a good time playing, and I didn't want it to end. I will say, though, when it did end, the last exciting, 30-minute sequence or so made it all worth it, especially from the actual story and character perspective. As much as I wasn't into it most of the way, it sticks the landing, and it does something really, really interesting. And the whole end sequence alone, I think, is totally makes the game worth playing through with a friend. From the beginning, you have to. I really, really want people to experience this just because I love what it does in terms of you and a friend playing a video game together and just having straight up fun, because like I said, it just moves from sequence to sequence so fast and so many things are happening. The game isn't really perfect in any sense. The shooting is weird, the driving isn't perfect, but you never really end up doing much of the same thing twice, so it just keeps going along. You don't really have time to stop and be nitpicky about all that stuff. This is totally off topic, but it's good for just, you'll get inside jokes with your friends about how some stupid and goofy some of this stuff is, but how fun it is. I'm not spoiling anything, but something totally took me out of it, and we both laughed so hard. And all I'm gonna say, and this isn't spoiling anything, the indestructible crab man is it's the funniest combination of words. Oh my god, I hope you gotta come across it. It's just fun through and through, and just, I had such a good time with it, laughing and playing. It's like if you and your friend would sit and watch The Room and have a laugh together, or like some bad movie that you know is hilarious. It's like that, but it's a fun game to play. And I think we need more games like this sometimes. I think this was just such a fun little experience. That was a breath of fresh air, and I needed it. You could play through it in like one long sitting, maybe 2 sittings, have a couple beers, and just kick back and play it, because it's fucking so much fun. I can't believe like this is the game that I'm freaking out about right now. Meanwhile, I still have to be talking about Far Cry 5, which I have been playing, and Sea of Thieves, and Yakuza, and all these other things. But right now, A Way Out gripped me like I didn't expect. And even though I finished it over the weekend, and I did say that a lot of the story stuff is predictable and forgettable, I keep thinking about the game. I keep thinking about the fun I had. So if I can get that across to you, I hope I did. I think you should check it out. I really don't think you should watch it on a Twitch stream or a YouTube channel. If you have the means, if you can access the game, I definitely recommend it, because I don't think it translates as well to YouTube and Twitch. Like, I just don't think you get the same experience. People can watch Twitch streams and judge a game, but here I think you actually have to have it in your hands, and you have to have that interaction with a human. I know it's probably hard if you don't have any friends. I only have like 2. I have like 2 friends, so you know, I get if you don't have someone, but find someone, please. And I think right now, maybe if you are burnt out on some games, or there's not a lot of games right now that you're really liking, or you just don't like the direction that modern games have been going, play this. It'll be a little bit of a breath of fresh air, and you'll have a good time. But that's me talking about A Way Out. Thank you for sitting here and, you know, letting me ramble for a couple minutes about this. I definitely want to know what you guys think if you did play through it. Try not to spoil anything in the comments. There's little weird avenues you can take in the game, so I'm playing it a second time just to see the other ending and stuff like that. But really, I want to know if you liked it or not. I really want to know if I'm being too hard on the fact that the game is cringy, but at the same time, am I overdoing the fact that it is really fun at its core? I don't know. I want to hear from you guys, but you know, you can hit me up in the comments. I'll be down there. I'll also be on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.